Hey there, welcome back to our kitchen. I'm Jenny, one of Festival's mealtime mentors, and today we are cooking up a tasty appetizer, mini mushroom tarts. So this is probably one of my favorite appetizer because it combines two of my favorite things, puff pastries and caramelized onions. So that's what we have going in our pan right now. This is just one onion that we've sliced up, and it's been going for about 25 minutes with a little bit of olive oil and salt. It's looking nice and brown. I'm just going to give it a little more time to finish caramelizing. So while that's going, I'm going to go ahead and finish up the star of our filling, the mushrooms. We are using cremini mushrooms today, and we're just thickly slicing them. And you can use white button mushrooms if you don't like cremini mushrooms, but I like the flavor of these mushrooms. Just give them a quick slice, and you can also buy these pre-sliced if you want to save some time in the kitchen. Nestle them in with the rest of our mushrooms here, and our onions are looking good. I'm going to go ahead and transfer these into our large bowl here. So the key is using a large bowl because we are mixing all of the filling ingredients right in this bowl. So I'm going to go ahead and add in a little bit more olive oil, and then all of these mushrooms. So I know it looks like a lot, but it will cook down just like the one large onion cooked down to basically nothing. Okay, give this a quick stir, and we just want to cook these until they're nice and soft. It'll take about 5 minutes. And while this is cooking, I'm going to go ahead and prepare our garlic, which is also going in this filling. So I have 2 cloves of garlic here, and I'm just going to quickly mince these. I love the flavor of fresh garlic, so feel free to add more if garlic is your thing. And if you, again, want to save some time in the kitchen, you can use pre-minced jarred garlic. That's available in the produce section. Right? And it looks like our mushrooms just need a few more minutes. Our mushrooms have cooked down and they're nice and soft. So I'm going to go ahead and add in our minced garlic, some dried thyme, and then pepper. I'll give this a stir, and we're just going to cook this for about a minute or until the garlic is nice and fragrant. While this is cooking, I'm going to go ahead and start working on our puff pastry. So I just have a sheet of puff pastry that has thawed, so it's nice and soft and pliable. And I have a 2-inch round biscuit cutter that I'm going to use to cut this into 16 circles. If you don't have a biscuit cutter, you can use a small glass or just use like a pizza cutter or a knife to cut it into 16 squares. So as I'm cutting, I'm going to go ahead and transfer this to my baking sheet, which has been lined with some parchment paper. That's just to prevent the tarts from sticking as they bake. So these look good. I'm going to go ahead and transfer this into our large bowl with the onions. And turn the burner off too. Okay. And to this, we're just going to add some shredded Gruyere cheese. So a lot of really great flavor from this cheese, but if you don't like Gruyere, you can substitute your favorite cheese instead. Just going to give this a stir so that everything comes together. Yum. All right. And now I'm going to go ahead and prep the rest of our puff pastry. So the first thing we want to do is brush it lightly with egg. It's just a beaten egg. And then I'm going to go ahead and prick it with a fork just to allow the air to escape while it's baking. And one thing that I do want to note is that this recipe does make enough topping for 2 puff pastry sheets, but we're just using one right now. So keep that in mind. It does make plenty. I'll go through and quickly prick this with a fork. And next we have our whole grain mustard. And we'll do a 1/4 teaspoon on each one of these. So do a little dollop and then spread it out. I love the whole grain mustard because it has a really nice bite to it. And now we're going to do a tablespoon of this mushroom filling on each of the tarts. So I'm going to try and mound it so that it's not falling off too much. These are all set to go into the oven, and they will bake at 400 for about 25 minutes. And we just want to rotate it once about halfway through the cooking time so that everything cooks evenly. And now we would let them cool slightly before garnishing it with parsley. So I hope you bake up these delicious mini mushroom tarts for your next holiday get-together. And for more holiday recipe ideas, visit bestfoods.com/holiday.